Hello, guys. Happy weekend and happy new month. Welcome to August. Wow, how time flies just like that. We have already started the month of August. Anyway, guys, it's a wonderful opportunity to be here again. And if today is your first time joining us live, it's Ginseng Matters with Roy, your favorite YouTube channel where you get to learn, relearn, and unlearn from different aspects of life. And more especially now that we've been talking more on marriage series, marriage life, marriage matters, and everything involved, everything in between, anything marriage, how to start your marital journey, things that causes conflict in the home. We've actually dealt with we've had series of discussions on this series. So I'll I'll really advise you check out our YouTube channel for any of these discussions. And today, I'm really excited to be here today, just because today's discussion is a very practical one, an interesting one. So if you can see me clearly, if you can not just me, if you can see our wonderful guests and you can hear me clearly well, please don't hesitate to share this video out with your friends, your colleagues, your siblings, and any other person that you know would benefit greatly from this practical and interesting discussion. And on this note, I would like you to join me in welcoming our wonderful guest for today's discussion. Guys, join me in welcoming Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Thank you very much, sir and ma, for the privilege to have you with us on the platform today. We really appreciate your time and your support all the time. Despite your busy schedules, you still find time to join us on the platform. Please kindly briefly introduce yourself, especially for the sake of people that will be watching us for the first time. And also tell us any other thing that you would like us to know about you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We are glad to be here again. We appreciate the host for inviting us and for making things work and all the background supporters that the host had and she has been having and she'll still having. We appreciate all of
The
those,
host of the host.
the host of the host. So my name is Kola and this is Bome, and we are both children of God and we are computer scientists and we are both growing. We are always happy to be here because this is a platform where we can share, discuss, argue when we need to argue, and then expose ourselves to different things that are going on. So we are so glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, sir, for that brief introduction. As you can see them, wow, guys, this is a loaded family. Let me not talk much about them. You will see it during the discussion. So don't forget, guys, to share this video out to your friends and any other person that could likely benefit greatly from this discussion. So as you can see from the flyer, today's topic is mistakes men make in marriage. Oh my God, I'm so excited to learn, relearn, and unlearn from the discussion today. I am the wife in the home, but still, I know there are some mistakes that men make in marriage. And that is why we are here today to talk about those mistakes. And I want all the men, in fact,
So we are
if you have any, especially the married men, and not just the married men, even the singles, share with them. Let them know and discover, oh, I've been doing these things. I didn't know. And I've been doing it unintentional. Oh my God. Even the single ones that are also preparing to start their marital journey, they need to come and learn this. So, guys, don't hesitate to share this video out to as many people as possible. And you can as well join this discussion live. Just check the link in the comments. Start sharing the video from now so that everybody can actually benefit greatly from the discussion today. So, actually, like I said, the discussion is not to blame the guys, the men in the home. You are the head of the home, but as in, when we share these things, it is just to draw your attention, just to like make you see reasons. Possibly you've not been seeing it that way, and you don't know it has a great effect on your marital relationship. That's the essence of this discussion. So sit down, sit back, possibly enjoy your cup of water. If you're a if you like coffee, enjoy your coffee, and let's enjoy this discussion together. Okay, so the discussion we'll hear from Brofola. We'll also hear from Sister Bumi. So who should we go for first? I know Sister Bumi has something to share, some things to share, and I know
A
Brofola
lot.
also. I know Brofola as well as some things to share. Maybe there are some things Brofola has not been seeing. And Sister Bumi needs to make him see it today. I'm going to share my own view as well. That's why Brofola said, yeah, at first, they said, we argue, we explain, we cite examples, and we balance things up using the scriptures. So, okay, over to you, Brofola.
Okay. Thank you. So let me just say that when I saw the topic and when we were preparing, I first thought, oh, this is about a man. This is about men. So what does women need to do with this? Maybe my wife does not even need to be on this show today. And then I realized that I thought again. On a second thought, I discovered that right, our own things are right. The way we do things is the best, but that may not be the right perspective. So it's always good to get feedback from others. There are things that my wife will be sharing. I definitely believe that it's not going to be about me. But maybe some of it can be about me. I don't know. But generally, we just want to understand how men make mistakes in marriage. And we want to talk about them and things that I believe that maybe I've also learned based on my own mistakes. I'm also going to share one way or the other so that we can all learn together. Thank you so much. So we can start from
Okay. That's an introduction. Okay. Mistakes men make, right? Which by that says men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And the whole essence of the book or the summary of the book is to talk about the fact that men and women are actually to relate to one another, that we realize that we see things differently. But it's easy to overlook that because, well, we have lived and it's like everything is just fine. But until we start living with one another, until we start having issues, that is when it occurs to us that, so this is what you see, or this is what I see, or men making marriage today. It's also like there's no way we will not talk about, because some of these mistakes are actually like general too, that women also make some of this mistake. And I think the first one I'll point at is is the assumption that we see things the same way, and that assumption mm, leads to a lot of mistakes in the way that we relate with one another. So for example, I'm happy to have a man that kept a lot of female friends. So the first example I want to give is when you are sharing a problem or when you are sharing an issue with a man, they automatically think you are asking them for the solution. But when a woman is sharing an issue with another woman or with even a man, she's not looking for a solution. She's just looking for a
listening.
listener or somebody to, it's just like a pass on conversation. Oh, my office today, this person did this, or something, someone said this, I felt this way, I thought of this. She's just looking for a gist mate. She's just looking for somebody to listen, to be like, wow. So I happen to grow up in a home where in my family we had 8 girls. So we gist and we don't get tired of gisting. But nobody is talking to another to say, oh, that's not how to actually do it. Like, you are just gisting. Even when you offer solution, it's not like a solution per se. It is just a gist, a conversation. But when you share with a man, like I come back home and I'm telling my husband, don't you think you're supposed to speak up? And no, no, I'm not talking about speaking up. I'm just talking about this
What
was
happened?
what happened. Like, don't
Don't
it's
judge
not
me.
a
I'm not going
conversation
to.
of judgment or this is what to do or this is how to solve the problem. It's gist. And sometimes something as little as that leads to conversation tussles between husband and wife, because the man is like, you won't even listen, you don't even want correction, you don't even want somebody. But the thing is, the woman is not looking for that. The woman is just looking for a gist mate. And if you are not in the mood to gist, it's just respectful to say, can we talk about this later, darling? Then she'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Finish. But don't come to say, do this, do that, this is that. So why were you talking about it if you don't want a solution? No, she's not looking for a solution. She's just looking for a gist mate. So that's the first example I'm going to give. Like, really assume. Then another thing that I see is, I think men are usually like driven around sports, in their relationship, driven around sport, driven around, I want to call it like hard, I don't know, like something not very interesting, because women prefer couch conversations. Men are talking over playing game, talking over walking. It doesn't look like a communication that involves cuddling. And because of that, when a guy wants to relax, they naturally want to go out. Like, I'm going to, maybe for some people who have joints now before they got married, like they want to go to that joint to meet up with the men, to discuss with the men. And that joint is not like the best environment that the woman is looking for. And if one is not careful, the man will continue to keep their friends, and the woman is left by
Alone.
herself at home, just doing homey things. And before you know it, the woman goes back to her home friends to be gisting. And the terrible thing about women gist is that there is no too much of a boundary. Like, you talk about everything. For a man, it's, when is my soccer friend, they talk soccer and they are good. It's not like work or some. If it is a work friend, they talk work and they are good. But for a woman, work, family, husband, sex, everything is mixed together. And before you know it, she's talking about everything to these other friends. Then the husband comes and say, well, that's your friend. I think you are telling them too much. Why should your friend know that we did this? Or why should your friend know that we talk about this? And it becomes a situation of, you need to cut off or reduce your relationship with your friends. Meanwhile, the man is not given the same expectation, because for him, we are just talking about work, we don't talk about my wife, or we are just talking about this, we don't talk about this. And before you know it, it's like men are requesting that their wives cut off their relationship with their friends when they want to keep their own relationship. So I think that in that case, husbands, no matter what, should try to well, both partners anyway should try to work with their friends. Now, this works well for people who are like high school friends before they got married. Usually every friend knows every friend. But in a situation where that does not happen, you have to consciously make your each other's friends both of your friends. If not, there will be tossers in the relationship. Should I go on or just stop? Like, I think I've spoken for long. Maybe I
Yeah.
should just stop.
They like
Wow. Interesting. Thank you very much for these wonderful submissions, sir and Ma. Actually, I completely agree with Sister Bumi on this note of friendship. You know, guys talk, their talk majorly, if they are not talking about ball, football, sometimes they play games. And the moment they see they see their friends, especially for the ones that play games, they are so carried away. They don't mind. They can go hours, they can spend hours playing games, and the wife is at home in the room, she's feeling all by herself. And then you now come back to the room and you're like, okay, okay, okay. And gradually you are losing the friendship that is meant to exist between the husband and the wife. You're supposed to stay close to her, build confide in her, let her know what's going on, let her be free to share what's going on in her life as well with you. That is what brings you together. That's what strengthens the bond between the husband and the wife. But the moment you find it comfortable moving along with your friends, you play games and the likes, then what do you expect? This is one of those things. Another thing, as I was praying for this discussion, there was a story of this man I read. The man was like, you can't imagine when he was preparing for his marital journey, he was thinking, oh, by the time I'm going to get married, I'm going to get married to someone just like me. He was thinking, oh, she's just going to think she'll reason like me, she'll understand like me, she'll be able to do this like me. Until he got into into the marriage, only to find out, oh, wow, this is not what I was thinking at this is not what I was thinking at all. He wasn't expecting it at all. It was then he realized, wow. In fact, the guy was like, it was 2 years of frustration for him, trying to make the wife be just like himself. Just imagine an engineer. The husband is an engineer, and you got married to a teacher, and you expect that the teacher, the wife, will start thinking or will know so much about the tech, about your engineering things, and you want the wife to also start reasoning just like you are. Oh my God, brothers in the house. What do you expect? Anyway, let's continue in the discussion. I think I want to hear from Profola.
No, I'm enjoying the lecture. Actually, it's apparently like, oh, men should sit back today, let the women begin to talk, and let's let and things like that. Actually, all the things that you said are very, very right. I want to start from the fact that we are wired differently. The way man reasons, the way man thinks about problems and challenges are so different from the way women are seeing those. So we are wired differently. But then when it comes to marriage, there has to be some level of flexibilities and changes. If you are not ready to change, then you are not ready to be married. One of the major mistakes we make as men is to get into marriage and believe that the woman must adapt to us 100%. That the woman are supposed to understand who we are and change their whole entire life to fit in into our personalities, which is actually very wrong. Very wrong. I remember when we first married, and a senior colleague at work called me aside and told me that, see, in marriage, a man has to shift, a woman has to shift. Both of you are like this. And then you'll be shifting gradually until you come to a middle point. So you don't stand here and expect your wife to come and meet you there. And the women are not supposed to stand there and expect the husband to come and meet them on this other side. And that is a very golden advice that I've stayed with me since. It's a very serious mistake to believe that a woman that you marry should change completely to fit in into who you are. That's number one mistake. Number two is another thing is, most of us, the exposure we have much more is in our family. You know the way your mother and your father relates, and then you begin to compare your wife to your mom. You begin to see your wife. You expect the same thing. You are expecting that you have seen your mom do it over the years when she was raising you. And sometimes the circumstances are not the same. Sometimes I believe that some of those things I also learned from my wife. Because by the time I begin to say, oh, you are not supposed to do things this way, this, and she said, okay, is my circumstance and your mom's circumstance the same? And then I got back
Yeah.
and I needed to think about it. That that's true. Sometimes we see things from just one part. and it's not right. And it takes a man that is willing to learn and listen to understand from another person. So that is very, very important. Then another point I want to make is that one of the mistakes I made when we first got married is I want my wife to become everything. I wanted my wife to become everything. If I see this thing that is good, I'll be like, will you do this thing? If I see the other one, will you do this thing? If I see the other, she cannot become everything. She is a unique person. She's made the way God has created her. So it's good to appreciate good things that you are seeing outside. But your wife cannot become all. You need to understand that she's a mother, she's a wife, and she has many other duties. She's a sister to some people, and all those kind of things. You need to understand she's a daughter to some other family. You need to understand all of those intricacies. So you cannot make your wife to become everything. Then one other thing I want to point out again before we round up is so many times we subject our women or our wives to be second class to us, and we expect them to produce first class results.
Jesus, yeah.
It doesn't work that way. A man is traveling here and there, meeting different people, getting exposed, doing all those things, and you kept the woman at home. You are not exposing her. She's not getting the same adventure you are getting, and you expect her to reason the same way you are reasoning. The same way you are reasoning, you expect your wife to be reasoning the same way. No, it doesn't work that way. He's a little bit much more like computer, garbage in, garbage out. What you get into her is what it will feed out to you. So as you are growing, make sure your wife is growing alongside with you. If you are not doing that intentionally, I mean intentionally, some men, they will go after graduate degrees, go after certifications, they'll be studying, they'll be saying the wife should be taking care of the kids, don't disturb me, At the end of the day, you are up here and your wife is just here watching cartoons with the kids. And then after having PhD, or maybe you have become a professor, then you now begin to chase young girls around because you feel your wife is not smart enough to reason the way you are reasoning. That is not life. That doesn't work. So those are the few things I may want to mention because of time.
Yeah. Thank you for those points. Like a lot of points, like cascaded together. Um, I want to add a point before I forget that point too, and that is the place of the what name did we use when we were talking about it? Sex. Something about like the other room, sexual relationship.
Okay.
Now, because it's a mistake that I also want to point out that men make, and the mistake is that for man, sex is intercourse. Like I have to drop something inside. Now, for a woman, a good cuddle, gist on or watching movie together, just using hand to like touch one another, all of those things are good. Like they are
Romance.
enough. Romance, yes, that's the best word today. So sometimes the woman is looking for romance, but for the man, it has to end there, and it's the end goal that
That is
is
the
the
target of
is
the
the
man.
target of the man. For the woman, it's like the romance is let's do, and at the end of the day, it's like it makes a man look selfish. Like you are just looking for your own thing. You don't even really care about me. So that's another mistake that I want to point out. That I remember listening to some men gist. Like I once in a while I watch those men gist, and the men are like, "Why should you touch me if you know you don't want it?" Like my wife is, we are on the couch, we are doing this, and you are not telling me no, no, don't go. That's not what I'm talking about. I just like don't even do it at all. And there are lots of them talking about it. I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is it's actually a different world
Song of
entirely.
Solomon says, "Don't wake up my love until it pleases."
So please, man, create that time. Put that romance package as part of the thing, so that it's not just about you. It's also about the woman as well. So that's something that I want to point out. I also want to point out the place of childcare. Like, go and meet your mom. Mom is everything to the child. And that can be very, very stressful on the woman. Like sometimes I've had some friends, and I've also had a point in my life being that too, like stay at home mom. And when you call somebody a stay at home mom, it's like, like she's not doing anything. Like she's just at home. And I'll be like, that is much more work than even having the opportunity to say, oh, I have to be at work by 8. So whatever thing we can do by 8, that's it all. Like everybody gets out of the house, then we come back together in the evening, and then life moves on. But for this person, their life from morning, 24 hours life is surrounded around home care and child care. And at the end of the day, it becomes very overbearing. So men usually make that mistake of trivializing child care and pushing it on the woman. It is both parents' responsibility to take care of the child and take care of their home. So men should contribute to that. And I'm not saying do the laundry or clean the floor if you cannot. Like if it's not convenient for you, get someone to do it. Like there are people who do cleaning job. There are people who do this. Like just pay the cost. Consider the woman has. Don't just put every home care or child care needs on the wife. That's not right. Like my husband touched on career growth, and I want to make mention of that because it's also a mistake that men make, that once a woman begins to talk about, and I see a comment say about the woman can also expose herself. The challenge with that is when a woman begins to like drive for the next thing, I want to write this exam. Before you know it, she's labeled over ambitious
And competitive.
and competitive. And it's like, my wife does not even want me to supersede her. If I write one exam today, she's writing another one tomorrow, and stuff like that. So it should be both people's responsibility, but seen as part of a growth path for the partner. Know that when you are investing in your wife's growth, you are investing in your own growth.
Yeah.
It is not that my wife is becoming this or my wife is aspiring too high. Our growth is your growth. Your growth is our growth. So if we see it from that point of view, it's not going to be competitive. So both partners should contribute to this. And you see, when you were talking about it, I just see what happens. Like, I work in the corporate environment too, and men tends to respect women in leadership position. Like this VP is talking when she's a woman, there's a different command in the room of, oh, the VP is here and she's doing this and that. And sometimes I'll be like, well, it's easy to be attracted to such women, but can you keep such woman in your home with with the way that you are? So the man should, when you are seeing somebody as there, like, oh, if she opens her mouth to talk like this, she talks sense, know that your wife can also do the same.
Yeah.
It is your investment and the way you see her that is affecting her. So contribute to her growth, contribute to her intelligence. Like the example my husband gave, it's very practical. The woman is there watching Tom and Jerry with the kids. You are there like talking business, talking this and that, and you expect her to not make a Tom and Jerry contribution. There's no way that will not happen because he's feeding her mind with. So invest, like be proud of your wife being a person of substance. Like invest in their growth, invest like um no matter what, push them forward. If you become the president of something, host a family dinner, bring your partner to work, do all of those things. It's always very encouraging to the woman. And at the end of the day, it helps the entire family. And one more thing before I stay quiet. Oh,
Okay.
time is gone. Okay, let me stop. Let me
Yeah,
stop.
you can say
Let
one
me
more.
stop.
Okay. It's okay. What really got me laughing was why won't she make Tom and Jerry contribution?
Because that's all what she's exposed to.
Exactly. you know, this issue of mistakes men make. Sometimes I use the illustration of it is what you put, it is the input you give that you receive as the output.
Yeah.
Whatever you give to your wife, whichever way you support her, that is what you get as the output. If you enroll her for courses, if you support her, you will still get it back. because she's married to you. You will get everything back. And like Sister Bomi said, the issue of the other room where a man will just come, okay, okay, can we have one rant? And you just and then the woman is like, wait, from where to where?
Where did we start?
And the woman is like, just like that. Sometimes, you know, women women are very sensitive, and all these kinds of attitude, all these kind of things, situations makes women feel like, I think this guy is selfish. You're selfish. Your wife has been working since morning. Maybe it's on a weekend. She's been busy from the laundry to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the bedroom, from the bedroom to the sitting room, and then you are there. You're just busy. Okay, she is her duty. She has to do it. She has to finish it. And then the second she sits down, she has not been sitting down since morning. And the moment she sits down like this, you now come and say, "Can we have one round now?" Brother. Like Sister Bumi said, this is one mistake. This is one of the mistakes that married men make in marriage. So, dear single brothers watching this video, be taking notes. I think you should be taking note of this. And even for the married men that will be watching the replay of this video as well, kindly just look inwards. Possibly the reactions you've been getting from your wife, you've been surprised. What have I been doing wrong? Is there anything I'm doing that is not making this woman happy? Or what is really happening? It might even be the way you're presenting that course to her. You want her to grow, fine. You want her to at least be developing herself as well. But how are you presenting it? This is another mistake that I think men should watch out for. You have good plans for your wife. You want her to develop as well. But how do you present it to her? Are you presenting it in a way that is making her feel like, oh, you're comparing her with your other colleagues at work, or you're comparing her with your mom, or you're comparing her with another female figure in your life? The way you present, your presentation matters. If you present in a way to make her feel like, just like a child, you want a child to do something, and you're saying it like, oh, if you don't do this thing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That is when the child will just be like, oh, okay, what happens if I don't want to do it? The same way, if you are presenting an opportunity, if you are presenting something to your wife and your presentation is bad, then it's going to bounce back. I think it's going to bounce back. But if you present it in a way to make her feel, okay, wow, my husband wants me to do this thing. Okay, I'm going to do it. But if you do it the other way around, then nothing will change. Because if you go into marriage with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to change that woman. She must be a reading woman. If she has not been reading before, by the time we start this marriage journey, she must at least read one book in a week. Brother, you're on your own. Because nothing will happen. You only get frustrated. And the marriage journey itself, you will soon get tired of it. Because instead of you to be marriage partners, you will just be housemates. Oh, you want me to do this? Yes, sir. You want me to do this? Yes, sir. And then the marital relationship that is meant to exist will not exist. Another thing is, the moment you are able to confide in your wife, she sees, oh, I'm a part of this man's life. He's telling me things, sharing things with me. Not like you're going to pick, if you have any issues, maybe challenge at work, you just call your friend. This. And you start telling your colleagues, your friends about things happening at work. But you're not sharing with your wife. Your wife she doesn't know what is going on. She doesn't feel like she's part of you. She doesn't feel like she's part of your life. She also wants to be part of, she wants to feel what you are feeling. But the moment you start seeing her like, oh, she doesn't need this information. What will she do with it? It's not necessary. But you are friends. You are partners. You are growing together. Because marriage relationship is meant, it is not a competition. You are building something together. You're not the only one in it. So the moment you are able to share things with her, that makes her feel like there's a feeling of belonging, that you are together. And another thing is, like Sister Bumi shared, that, oh, possibly sometimes she wants to share something with you. It is not like as if she wants your opinion. Our brothers, men in the house. So when she comes, if you are not ready to talk about what is happening at your workplace, ladies they are looking for gist partners. They are looking for someone they can share everything, every little detail like this. They want to share it with them. And honestly, it is true what Sister Bumi said, that if you don't give a listening here, by the time they have someone that is ready to listen, they will talk beyond what they have in mind. And by that time, they will have made friends. They will have developed friendship in someone else. Possibly they are friends, they are colleagues at work. And here you are, you want to be part of everything. At that time, she will have started keeping things from you. Because the time you were supposed to give listening here, even if you will not say anything, and just be saying, okay, really? Even if things like that, she feels okay. And that's why sometimes some wives still confide, they still, the bond between the wife and their moms is still there. And then by the time you now come, hey, why is he talking to your mom like that? Hey, are you not talking to me? You're not talking to me. But you're not there. You have not made yourself available for her to talk to you. So I think this is another mistake men should look out for. That look inwards. What are those things you are doing? And okay, I want to hear from Stabumi. She has one more point to share with us.
Okay, I'll put the one more point together. The first one is about money. Um, Men should be like, it's a mistake to not be transparent with your spending with your wife. Like usually, men, well, things are changing a lot though, but in a Christian marriage, the man is the head of the home. So it's like the financial decision and stuff, so a lot of it still rests on the man. But keep like transparency from you will naturally call for transparency from your wife. Like women are natural givers. Once they are convinced that they are safe with you, they will not keep things from you. But if you continue to keep your money, the way you spend, like all of this, don't tell a woman how much you're earning, or you want to give money to someone, you think your wife will not support it and you are keeping it away from her, it's definitely not the best. So transparency financially. And the last one, I will stop after this one, is
It's
the
okay.
way you represent your wife with your family members and friends and everyone. Like if your mother is saying, see how your wife did this thing, like this is a waste of money or something like that, you'll be there to say, oh mom, things have moved on. Oh, women of these days, they don't think the way you are thinking. It's not the time to say, talk to her. Oh, that is what she does. And by the time you make your wife feel like you don't even carry her with that regard, then she becomes a common person. Or with your female friends, like the way you carry your wife and defend her will be helpful with your relationship. So men should be conscious of that. Like even if what your wife is doing is not like what you want, or maybe you want her to make a change in that regard as well, don't lace our weakness around. Don't make it like too open that you are not respecting. Like, well, then I think I've made the point clear.
Wow, wow, wow. This is interesting, as in so many things to learn, relearn, and unlearn from. So, on this note, guys, I will be getting our takeaways from our guests for today. Okay, over to you, Brofola. Our
Okay,
takeaway for the
thank you.
week.
Yeah, before I say take away, I will say I recognize all the chats and the comments. They are really appreciated. Really, really appreciated. They're on point. So I want to say my own takeaway is from Genesis chapter 3, and I will say it this way. Eve fell to the devil because she was having conversation with the devil. And the question is, where was Adam when Eve was having this conversation with the devil? Adam was doing the work of God, and God felt he should not be alone.
Mhm.
So where did he keep his wife? Eventually, he left his wife behind. The wife had free time, gisting with the devil, and evil thing happened. So I want us to learn from this. I'm not blaming Adam because if I were in his shoe, maybe I would have done the same thing. But let's learn from this story. Husband, carry your wife along in things that you are doing. My wife talked about transparency the other time. Be transparent with your wife. If you are growing, make sure your wife is growing. Don't leave your wife with YouTube videos, with African magic, Nollywood, Hollywood, where she will be fed with things that are not real. And you are facing real situation outside. And you expect your wife to be reasoning the same way you are reasoning. So please carry your wife along. Make sure she is growing along with you. And then spend time together. That is what I want to contribute as a takeaway.
My home takeaway will be from Ephesians, I think. Husband, love your wives as Christ loves the church. Love your wife. If you will just give your wife the attention you give your daughter, I think it's beautiful. Husband, love your wives. Take them like your daughter.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, this is interesting. This is really, really interesting. Wow, to all our viewers out there. Wow, we had lots of comments in the comment section. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ify. Thank you so much, Emerald Group, for joining us live on the platform today. Wow, a lot. Very common with men. She should expose herself. No rule says the man should do that for her. Adam went to find money so fast. Yes, it really
Yeah.
looked so fast with lots of things to learn. So if you will be watching the replay of this live stream, please don't hesitate to share this video out to your friends, your colleagues at work, single brothers and sisters around you. Let them also learn and benefit greatly from the discussion today, especially the brothers, incoming brothers planning to get married already. Already married. Who needs to learn some things, please share it with them. And don't worry, guys, we are coming to the women as well. Yes, so watch out for it. We'll also discuss mistakes women make in marriage. So stay tuned and keep watching Say Matters with Roy. And on this note, really want to appreciate our guest for today again, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji. Thank you so much, Sir and Ma, for your time with us today on the platform. God bless you richly. On this note, we'll be bringing today's live stream to a close. So we'll come your way again. It's still Say Matters with Roy. Have a very blessed month of August. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Hi. Thank you.